Carson Wentz is not a second-year player on a rookie deal. He's a fifth-year quarterback. This is year 5, and he's getting paid over $100 million. Like, when we still have questions about this, like at this point in a guy's career, it means he's not going to be a great quarterback. I'm sorry. He might be a talented quarterback. He'll be a quarterback that keeps us saying, hey, if only. But in terms of his talent, which is upper 5, right, I don't see him ever being a top 5 quarterback, ever.
What if he changes scenery?
I think they're – okay, I'm going to get to that in 1 second, as a matter of fact. Jalen Hurts. I want to be very clear, Louis. They may have been wrong in their evaluation of Jalen Hurts, but I have no doubt that's why they drafted Hurts. And not to play him this year, necessarily, but to have something going forward so when they can get out from under Carson Wentz's contract, they can have another guy. Now, they may have been wrong about that. I believe that Hurts has probably shown them nothing in practice. Because if that dude has shown you anything at all in practice and your starter is playing the way Carson Wentz has, 13 turnovers in Eagles territory in 8 games, you'd start him. But I would start him anyway for a game. Not because he gives you a better chance to win, but at a certain point, the quarterback has to be accountable. If you continue to make plays like that and then show up in the press conference, I'm still going to do me. Like, if you continue, like, it must have been a point of emphasis, Louis. Think about the first time he turned the ball over when he was sacked. The safety's coming. He has all the time in the world to get rid of the ball. And that must be a point of emphasis on the coaching staff. And he's being obstinate. So, like, I'm not suggesting Hurts gives you a better chance to win. I'm not suggesting their plan was to play Hurts this year. I'm suggesting that you have to hold Wentz accountable in terms of change of scenery. If I were the Eagles and I can get out from under that contract and get something back, I would seriously consider that. Seriously consider it. I mean, he has an onerous contract.
I know this from a head coaching standpoint. Look, Doug Peterson is evaluating this situation through a much different lens and with much more context than which we are evaluating this situation. And I know the kind of things that they were facing last year and the kind of challenges there were. And that's not to make excuses for Carson. So don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to excuse away some of the mistakes that this young man has made. Because, look, it's as frustrating for me as it is for anyone, and I don't care whether they win or lose. But, I mean, it's as frustrating for me as it is for anyone to watch him play and make some of the mistakes that he makes. There's no question about that. But I also know this. I also know the challenges that they are facing in terms of the lack of personnel that this team has consistently had on the football field from week to week. Now, I don't know what the answer is for Carson. I don't know how you get through to him. Do you sit him down for a week and let him sit there and watch Jalen Hurts play in order to hold him accountable? If you think that's the magic pill, then I guess go ahead and try it. But the thing is, they still are looking at this division and going, we can win this division. We're still, right here in the thick of it, and we don't have any gimme games to kind of just throw away, in the name of sending him a message and getting Jalen Hurts some experience and playing that game. They're just not going to do that. They're going to try and win as many games as they can this year with him. Hopefully he pulls out of it, and maybe they entertain some discussions in the offseason as far as how do we address this situation going forward. But as of right now, look, we can talk all we want about throw Jalen Hurts in there. Why did they draft Jalen Hurts? He should be better. I mean, Carson should be better, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the fact is, they got to grind through this year and hopefully be able to connect with him in such a way that he improves his play. It's just that simple.
Just, Lewis has worked in front offices and the Monday Night Football guy, and you can take his word for it, or you can take my word for it because I have played Madden in franchise mode. So, those are the resumes. And
Unbelievable.
This has nothing to do with it.
Let me just say one thing, though,
what they're
Louis.
Do this year. That's all.
As far as them drafting Jalen Hurts, I understand across college football, only Joe Burrow had more touchdowns than Jalen Hurts. I understand they took him in the second round. Max, you're saying it's the writing on the wall that he'll eventually take over. But at the same time, this is a team, they're a bit of an outlier. They won the Super Bowl with a backup. So obviously he's dealt with injuries as well. So they had 2 competent quarterbacks. So this isn't something new to them to do that moving forward.
By the way, that backup, I know what everyone thinks of Nick Foles right now. I get it. He's not playing well for the Bears, although he's facing good defenses. They have 0 offensive line, and after Robinson, they don't have much at receiver. I am telling you, whenever Nick Foles has been in the right situation, that's not the Eagles this year, I get it. At Arizona, with Chip Kelly, with the Eagles in the Super Bowl run, with the Eagles when he took a team and revived them from dead in the water, then they went under Wentz, and they went on a run, made the playoffs, and beat the Bears in Chicago. When Foles is in the right situation, He's not only not going to stop you from winning, he will help you win. He does not have Carson Wentz's talent. He's not going to make lemonade out of lemons. It's not Nick Foles. But when I look at the Bears and I look at the Eagles and what they both need going forward, I would seriously consider that.
All right, you want to respond to that?
Get out from under Wentz's contract.
Philadelphia is operating at such a deficit, though, from a personnel standpoint. I don't think it'd be a good situation. Look, it was a much different situation when he went on the Super Bowl run than it is right now for Philadelphia. This is a much different team overall. The composition of this team is much different set of circumstances. And look, I love Nick Foles, and I respect the heck out of him for what he has done and how he has approached his career. But this current construction of this team would not be good for him.
Yeah, Foles would get killed on this team, just like Carson Wentz and the Eagles are getting killed. And the difference is you'd save $50 million and actually build a better team. The way Wentz is paid, the way McNabb was paid, right? Like when these guys get paid, it's, hey, we need you to compensate for other stuff. McNabb was able to compensate for stuff at times. And when he didn't, they sat him down. They held him accountable, and it worked. They made the NFC Championship game. Carson Wentz is paid to compensate, and instead he overcompensates, and therefore the team underperforms, even given the injuries.
Yeah, I get it, but you can only compensate so much, Max. I mean, you really can't. Like some of these last year, when they went on that run, I'm telling you, look, I talked to Doug Peterson. I know him. He's a friend of mine. I mean, and I love him to death. The things they were having to do each week as far as getting people ready to play and go out there on the football field, it would blow your mind.
Players are playing different
positions.
positions.
From scratch. It was like going to like basic 101 football install.
Franchise mode. I won the Super Bowl.
Context is so important when you're talking about evaluating players. It's just a unique situation, but that does not dismiss the fact or throw out the fact that you make a great point, and we've all said the same things. Carson has to be better.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.